the
This worked out better this time.
Coffee, a little smoky, and then get an egg on.
Nice, a little smoky. That's a good idea. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm meeting up with a new friend, Tyler Smith, who I've actually known for a while online from the Pathfinder community. He has a pretty active YouTube channel if you guys want to check that out. And a new friend from Portland, Brian. And we're driving out into the Gifford Pinchot National Forest in Washington State and just doing a little camping, exploring, and getting to know each other. So yesterday we spent all day kind of making our way in from Hood River. We met up and then drove into the woods and then kind of wound our way out here to this awesome campsite. Typically there's beautiful views of Mount St. Helens behind me and mountains and the valley below, but today obviously we're sort of socked in, but that's all right. So I think our plan today, we just had breakfast and made some coffee. So I've got my coffee, which is, as is tradition, much too hot. And we're gonna pack up here shortly and wrangle the dogs and make our way out there towards Greenwater and dip off into the woods out there. So I think we've got some pretty good adventure ahead of us, and it'll be awesome to take you along with me. So stay tuned. We made it to the top of the world. Tyler almost drove himself off the cliff. It's not as scary though when you can't see.
It was a good call to watch that side. It didn't even occur to me. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but this is probably like, 1,500 foot cliff face. So
yeah, you guys don't need to be getting near the cliff as much as you want to.
There's the fire watch. We'll go up to that. But yeah, just gorgeous, beautiful views up here.
If you don't give yourself more than what you can simulate on up travel, you'll still run.
Pretty cool fire watch. They're scattered all over the Pacific Northwest and probably other places too. But this one you can drive up. Some of them you have to drive and then do like a final hike. This one's pretty easy to get to. And they've got these cool little sign-in sheets. Yeah, shout out to these 4 dudes, Phil, Stanley, Dick, and Aaron, for fixing this thing up in 2009. Really cool. Really cool to get to check these things out. Been riding on the highway here for a while. Drove through the Mount Rainier National Park area. Didn't go up to the park, but got pretty close. And now we're about to hang a right onto one of the Forest Service roads that takes us out into the woods again. So it was kind of nice driving on the highway for a bit, but I'm ready to hit dirt and get back to the trails so that we can kind of find our campsite and explore an area that I've actually never been to before. So I'll see you guys in a bit. We're all just taking a little bit of air out of the tires right now. The road's getting a little bit more corrugated as we get a little further into the woods, so this will just kind of help with vibrations and stuff. But we're making our way in. Well, we're just slowly making our way down the backside of this mountain. It's just drizzly, kind of blowy wind, pretty nasty out, but I'm hoping that once we get down further towards the creek that's down there, we'll be able to find a nice place to camp for the night. So anyway, gonna keep on trucking here. When you fall in, I'm gonna get it on video. Get to work. Good morning, everyone. This is day 3, our last day. We just woke up after night 1 and it was quite a rainy night. It just kind of rained the whole time. But we found a pretty good campsite with some tree cover and that really helped a lot. Gave us a place to hang out. Just had breakfast, made some coffee. It's scalding hot as is tradition, so I have to wait a while before I can drink it, which is kind of a bummer. It's always nice to be able to just drink it right away, but I don't have anything to cool it off with. I guess I could put water in there. But today we've got a pretty rough section of trail that we're gonna make it through, hopefully, and then that'll dump us out on I-90, and then that's when we'll all part ways. Tyler will head back to Idaho, I'll make my way west, and Brian will head down south to Oregon. So we'll see how that goes. The vehicles have held up great, and the dogs are happy, so I think we're happy. A pretty successful trip, I'd say. So let's get back up there. Brian's got the Wilco tire carrier going. Seems to be rock steady on this trip, so that's really cool. Really good option. And Tyler's been experimenting with this soft topper. It's brand new. It's quite heavy duty canvas. I was really impressed with how thick this canvas is. And then he's been sleeping in the back. So pretty cool. I want to see it collapsed or bikini style with the sides up. I think that would look really good. No problems with anything. And this was my setup, as you guys have seen before. I just have two backpacking pads, which worked okay on this trip. Kind of made it hard to side sleep. They weren't quite thick enough for me. And then I had a blanket, some pillows that I have stored up there, and I also had a sleeping bag, but that was like totally overkill. And I've actually on this trip, because of the slant of the ground, I've been sleeping with my head on this side instead of that side, and I actually like it better. I can use that as a shelf, and I have access to the light and stuff like that, so it's been really comfortable. It's been pretty good. And then, as you saw in previous shots, I had the Reflectix in all the windows, so that kind of provided some insulation and privacy.
Gonna be a little tight. You got, I don't know, a foot and a half to the rock. About a foot. And then you're gonna turn, your rear tire is gonna be close. But you can keep going. You're just gonna have to, I don't know that the Tundra's gonna make that. Okay. I'm gonna say a foot to the slider. Yeah, your tire's gonna clear, it looks like. And then watch the rear end, keep it straight. Turn, you're good to turn. Yep, you're all good, you're clear.
So we're following this trail, and what it does is it ends up snaking through and popping out at a small town on the highway. There were a couple known washouts along the way, one or two that are more recent than some of the older ones. But what we found is there's a pretty significant berm. Just getting the vibe from the boulders and stuff, they don't want people continuing through. I did go over it just to kind of investigate a little bit, but ultimately we decided to pull the plug on going that route. So we're gonna head back. We're gonna do a bypass. It's been a long trip, so we're kind of ready to end it. Might have to come back and investigate this another day. Probably just hit it from the highway side and come through or something like that. And then also keep an eye on forum posts and stuff to see if there are any updates on whether or not it's been repaired or if it's passable or not. But yeah, it would have been a cool way to go, but you know, no skin off my back ending it now. So we're gonna go ahead and get turned around and start heading out. So Brian, it was nice meeting you. Tyler.
Great trip, great planning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys were able to make it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah.
Glad
It was.
Pathfinder though brought us here, but we only have one now.
That's right. It was a good trip. And now we're gonna make our way out, hit the highway, and go our separate ways. Me and Brian will be maybe radio buddies for a little while and give us something to do until we get stuck in traffic and split up. And yeah, for sure. So, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's hit the road. Oh, goodbyes. They're never fun.